Chosen one, today has been marked for you, and something inside you already knows it. This Wednesday you are living in right now is not an ordinary square on a calendar. It has been waiting for you. You have felt it building for weeks, a quiet pressure, a restlessness that will not let you settle back into the person you have been. That is not anxiety. That is the old you beginning to loosen its grip because its season is finally ending. For years you have lived as the one who survived, the one who held everything together while wondering, late at night when the house went still, whether this was really all there was. But that voice that kept whispering, "There is more. You were made for something you have not touched yet." That voice was never your imagination. It was memory, it was recognition, and it was right. Before you were born, a decision was made about who you would become. And the long delay you have endured was never rejection. It was formation. Most people will scroll right past words like these because they have quietly accepted the smaller version of themselves as permanent. But you are still here. That is the signature of the person this message was written for. What begins today, on this very Wednesday you are standing inside of, is not a slightly better version of the same tired life. It is who you actually are, finally stepping through the door. Stay with me. You are about to meet them. If you can feel even a small part of this landing in your chest right now, do something before we take one more step. Comment the words, "I am becoming," below this message, not as a wish, as a witness. Let it mark the exact moment the old version of you started to let go. Now let me tell you what I see when I look at the years behind you, because I think you have been carrying them alone for far too long. I see a person who started out so full of life. As a child, you were curious about everything. You asked questions the adults around you could not answer. You felt things deeply. You noticed what other people walked right past. And somewhere inside you, there was a brightness that needed no permission to shine. You did not have to try to be alive back then. You simply were. And then, slowly, the world began to teach you a different lesson. It taught you to go quiet when you wanted to speak. It taught you to shrink when something in you wanted to expand. It rewarded you for fitting in, and it punished you for standing out. You learned to manage everyone else's feelings before your own. You became the responsible one, the strong one, the one who never seems to need anything. And piece by piece, with almost no one meaning to harm you, the brightness got covered over. This is the part nearly everyone gets wrong about you. They look at where you are now, and they assume you simply lost your way, that you got lazy somewhere, or distracted, or that you wanted more than life was ever going to hand you. But that is not what happened to you at all. You did not lose your spark through some personal failure. Something was slowly drawn out of you, year after year, until the version of you that the world found convenient became the only version you were allowed to be. So you adapted, the way survivors do. You got excellent at carrying weight. You learned to function on a fraction of what you actually are, and you got so good at hiding the difference that the people around you have no idea anything is missing. But you know. In the quiet moments, you always know. There is a fog where your clarity used to live. There is a heaviness where your lightness used to be. And there is a whole person underneath all of it, still breathing, who you have not been able to reach in years. And let me say something I do not say to everyone, because not everyone would understand it. I know what your mornings have felt like. You wake up already tired, before the day has asked anything of you. You reach for your coffee and your phone and you brace yourself, and some quiet part of you negotiates just to get through another round of the same hours. I know about the moment in conversations when the word you want is right there and then it simply dissolves, and you cover it with a laugh while something in you flinches. I know about the plans you made with real fire in your heart that are now folded away in a drawer you try not to open. I am not telling you these things to make you feel exposed. I am telling you so you understand that I see the real situation, not the polished version you show the world. So hear me clearly, because this is the first thing that has to change today. The fog over your mind is not a character flaw. The dullness you carry is not who you are. It is not evidence that you are broken or weak or hopelessly behind. It is the residue of everything you survived, and residue can be cleared. The real you was never destroyed. It was buried, and what has been buried can be carried back into the light. And here is what makes today different from every other day you have tried to change. You have spent years working on the surface. New habits, new routines, new promises to yourself every January. And every time, the change held for a little while, and then the fog rolled back in, and you blamed your own discipline. But the surface was never the problem. The thing that dimmed you happened underneath your awareness, at a level your willpower could not reach, which means the thing that restores you has to work at that same level. Hold that thought. It matters more than you know, and I am going to come back to it. So let me bring you to exactly where you are standing right now, today, on this Wednesday that has your name written on it. You are not the child who was full of fire anymore, and you are not yet the person you can feel waiting on the other side of the fog. You are in the in-between, and the in-between is the most uncomfortable place a soul can live, because you can remember enough of who you were to grieve it, and you can sense enough of who you could be to ache for it, but you are standing inside neither one. That tension you keep calling restlessness has a name. It is the pressure of two versions of you trying to occupy the same single life. And today, one of them is finally about to win. Let me show you how I know this message reached the right person. There are signs that mark someone in your position, and you will recognize them as I name them. You feel things before they happen, a quiet knowing you learned a long time ago not to say out loud. You have always felt slightly out of step with the people around you, as if you were running a different operating system underneath the same surface. Ordinary success has never been enough to satisfy you, no matter how much of it you manage to collect. And underneath all of it, you have carried a stubborn sense that you are here for a reason you have not fully met yet. If those signs are landing in you right now, that is not flattery, that is identification. If you are recognizing yourself in this, take one slow breath and do something with me. Comment the single word "awake" below this message. Let it stand for the part of you that is reading these words and quietly saying, "Yes, that is me. That has always been me." Something happens when you put it into language. It stops being a private ache you carry in silence and becomes a decision you have witnessed. Now, I can already hear the objection rising in some of you, because you are not naive. You have heard beautiful words before. You have felt hope stir in a message or a sermon or a book, and then watched it quietly fade by the weekend. So a guarded part of you is whispering, "Be careful. You have believed something like this before, and nothing actually changed." I want you to honor that voice, because it protected you from chasing 100 empty promises. But then, I want you to notice something it has never considered. Every single method you tried before asked you to fix the surface with more effort, more discipline, more routine, more forcing yourself to think positive. And every one of them failed in the exact same place, for the exact same reason. Not one of them ever reached the level where the real dimming happened. You were never failing. You were using the wrong kind of key on the wrong kind of lock, over and over, and then blaming your own hand for the door that would not open. And that brings me to something I want to hold in front of you before we go any further. Over the past few years, something has been quietly confirmed inside research laboratories that most people who care about the things we are discussing have never once been told. Not because it contradicts anything sacred, because it came from a direction most of us were simply not watching. A small group of researchers, led by a doctor in New York who has spent 2 decades studying this, found something about the way the human mind is built that explains exactly what you have been feeling but could never put a name to. Something so fundamental it traces all the way back to a Nobel Prize, and yet so simple in how it is used that it sounds almost suspicious the first time you hear it. I am going to tell you what they found later in this message. But for right now, just hold this one question. What if the reason your mind feels foggy is not your age and not a lack of discipline? What if something was taken from you, and what if it can be given back? Before I take you there, notice your body for just a moment, right where you are sitting. Notice the breath you have been holding a little too high in your chest. Notice the low hum of effort you carry even while doing nothing, the quiet bracing you perform without anyone asking you to. That bracing is not your natural state. It is what years of survival installed in you, one disappointment at a time. And the simple fact that you can feel it right now, that you can tell the difference between the tension and the ease underneath it, means the part of you that remembers your original design is still alive. Today, on this Wednesday, that is the exact part of you I am speaking to. Not the tired manager of your life, the one underneath who never agreed to stay small. Sit with that question, because it quietly rewrites the last 10 years of your life. If the dimming was done to you at a level beneath your own awareness, then it was never a verdict on your worth. It was only a condition, and a condition can be reversed. The person you keep sensing on the other side of the fog is not some polished fantasy you have to build from nothing. That person is the original, the first draft, the one you already were before the world got its hands on you and taught you to make yourself smaller. And today is the day you begin walking back toward them. Let me show you where this road is actually going. So let me take you down that road and show you who is waiting at the end of it, because you need to see this person clearly before you can walk toward them. Picture yourself just a few weeks from today. You wake up, and the very first thing you notice is what is missing. The fog is not there. Your mind is clear the moment your eyes open, the way it was when you were young, before the heaviness ever moved in. The word you reach for arrives instantly. The idea you have been circling for months suddenly resolves into something simple and obvious. You are not forcing your brain to work anymore. It is simply working again, the way it was always designed to. Now picture the people in your life standing inside that same future with you. You are present with them in a way you have not been in years. You are no longer half listening while your mind drifts somewhere foggy and far away. You are actually there. The person closest to you notices it before you even say a word. Your children, if you have them, feel it in the room. The conversations that used to feel like talking into a wall start to come alive again, because the person having them has finally come back online. Your relationships never needed more time from you. They needed the real you to be in the room. And now picture the part of your life you have been quietly afraid to hope for. The calling, the thing you were made to do that you set down years ago because the fog made it feel impossible to carry. In this future, the ideas come back. The energy to act on them comes back. Doors you have walked past 100 times suddenly become visible because the version of you that can recognize an open door is finally awake. The provision was always there, arranged and waiting for you. You were simply moving through it with the receiver turned down too low to notice it was there. And there is one more scene I want you to see, because it is the one that matters most. Picture the pattern in your family that you have watched repeat itself for generations. The struggle that seems to follow your bloodline. The almost, the so close, the door that opens for everyone but you. In this future, you become the one who breaks it. Not by trying harder than your parents tried, because they tried with everything they had. You break it because you finally have access to the part of you that they never got to use. The story that has been handed down through your family, like an inheritance you never asked for, stops with you. The children who come after you grow up watching a different kind of person, one who is awake, present, and full of the light that was always supposed to be there. That is not a small thing. That is the whole reason you were chosen for this in the first place. If even one of those scenes made something in your chest lift just now, I do not want you only to observe it. I want you to receive it. Comment the words, "I receive this," below this message. Not as a daydream you will have forgotten by tomorrow morning. As a doorway you are deciding right now to walk through. You are not asking anyone for permission. You are accepting what has already been arranged for you. And notice the timing of all of this for a moment. You did not stumble onto these words on some random afternoon. You found them today, on the very Wednesday I told you at the start was marked for you. The old version of you would call that a coincidence and move on. But the version of you waking up inside this message knows the difference between a coincidence and an appointment. This is an appointment. You are not early and you are not late. You arrived exactly when you were meant to. Now take a moment right here. Breathe. You have carried some heavy things into this message, and I want you to set them down for just a few seconds before we go on, because what comes next is the turn everything else has been leading to. Do you remember the question I asked you to hold earlier? The one about something discovered inside a laboratory, something that traces back to a Nobel Prize and yet stays so simple it almost sounds suspicious. I have not forgotten it, and neither has the quiet part of you that has been waiting for the answer this entire time. We are almost there, but before I open that door for you, I need you to understand exactly why this works, because if you do not understand the why, the what is going to sound too good to be true, and you will talk yourself out of the very thing you have been praying for. So stay close. Here is what I am about to show you. There is a specific reason your mind dimmed, a reason that has nothing to do with how hard you tried or how much faith you carried. And there is a specific, almost embarrassingly simple way that the dimming can be undone, one that takes only a few quiet minutes of your day and asks almost nothing of you in return. It is not another discipline. It is not one more thing to add to the long list of ways you secretly feel you are failing. It is much closer to reaching down and flipping a switch that was turned off years ago, without your permission and without your knowledge. Stay with me through the next few minutes, chosen one, because this is the exact turn this whole message has been climbing toward. And the version of you that has been waiting all this time inside the fog is standing right on the other side of it, close enough now to touch. So let me step out of the imagery for a moment and talk to you plainly, because you deserve to understand this in clear words. Here is the why. When you were a child, the two halves of your brain worked together in close synchronization, and that synchronized state is what produced the curiosity, the creativity, and the effortless clarity you still remember. As you grew up, modern life slowly pulled those two halves out of sync, not because something is wrong with you. It happens to nearly everyone. By adulthood, fewer than 1 in 1,000 people still hold the level of synchronization they were born with. That is the fog you have carried for years, finally described in plain terms. Here is the what. The synchronization that was lost can be restored. The brain does not stay frozen the way we were once taught. It can be guided back into that whole, connected state. And here is the who. This is not for everyone who hears it. This is for the one who has felt the call their whole life and refused to let go of it, even when the evidence was not cooperating. That is, you. So, let me finally tell you what was discovered and how it actually works. In 1981, a researcher named Dr. Roger Sperry was awarded the Nobel Prize for proving something that had never been confirmed before. He showed that the two hemispheres of the human brain are designed to operate as one integrated whole, and that when they fall out of communication, the whole mind runs at a fraction of its real capacity. The studies that followed found what I told you a moment ago. Around 98% of young children test at the level of creative genius. By adulthood, almost no one does. The capacity does not disappear. It goes dormant. It waits to be called back. Before I tell you what a team built from that discovery, let me tell you about two people. A woman from California described what her life felt like before she found this. She had tried everything her faith offered, every practice her community taught, and she kept arriving at the same wall. She believed the words, but she could not feel the reality behind them. After about 10 days, she said something simply cleared. A channel that had been closed for years was suddenly open again. Not because she tried harder, because the receiver had been repaired. A man from Texas described something similar. Someone who had spent years holding everyone else together, while his own mind grew thin and distant. 2 weeks later, he woke up and said his mind was finally running on all of what it was meant to. The fog he had stopped, even noticing, was simply gone. That is, because of what a team of neuroscientists, led by a doctor in New York, named Dr. Daniel Barone, quietly built. They took more than an hour of clinical whole brain activation material used in specialized medical settings, and through years of careful refinement, compressed it into an 8-minute targeted listening sequence. 8 minutes a day, headphones on, eyes closed. That is the entire requirement. They call it the Genius Switch. It is not a meditation app, and it is not a mood track. It is a precise auditory sequence built on the Nobel research of Dr. Roger Sperry, engineered to bring the two hemispheres back into the synchronized state that was your default when you were a child. And I need to be honest about who this is for, because the Genius Switch is not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who understands that you were given not only a calling, but a mind meant to walk into it. The person who has been sincere for years, who has done the inner work, who has felt the call clearly and kept returning to it even when nothing confirmed it. Most people who hear about this will scroll past and accept the reduced version of their mind as permanent. You are still here. That is not coincidence. That is the exact kind of persistence that belongs to the person this was made for. Now, let me tell you what it costs, because the story there matters too. Colleagues told Dr. Barone this would be an incredible value, even at $500. In-person sessions of this kind run $300 an hour. A home machine can run $7,000. It was not released at $500, not at $200, not even at $100. It was released at $49. And today, on this page only, there is an additional $10 off, $39. And it arrives with 4 gifts. A guided visualization from a top-rated creator, a grocery guide that saves most people over $100 a month, a manifestation text more than a century old, and a printable set of the 5 habits for the life you are building. All of it is backed by an unconditional money-back guarantee. Listen once, listen 80 times. If it does not do for you what it has done for more than 18,000 people, every dollar is returned, no conditions. And here is the only urgency I will name, because it is real. The provision already arranged for your life becomes visible in the synchronized state. In a way, it is not in the partial one. Not because the provision is new, because the receiver that can finally recognize it has been restored. One honest warning. If you go searching for something like this on the usual platforms, you will find imitations carrying the name with none of the real mechanism inside. The only verified source is the page the team built, and that is where the link below points. If your spirit resonates with what you have heard, you will find it in the description below this message and in the pinned comment. You can read every detail there before you decide anything. Now we are coming to the close, and I want to gather everything we have walked through into one quiet moment. You came into this message carrying a fog you thought was permanent, and you are leaving it knowing the truth. It was never a verdict on your worth. It was only a condition, and a condition can be reversed. What was described to you, those 8 minutes a day that bring your mind back into the state it was born in, that is still there, waiting in the description below and in the pinned comment, for the moment your spirit quietly says yes. There is no rush in this final part. There is only an invitation and the open door it leads to. But before you go anywhere, I want to do something with you right now, while the door is still open. Close your eyes if you are somewhere you safely can. Take one slow breath in and let it out even slower than you took it. Now picture a single point of warm light resting in the center of your forehead, just behind your eyes. This light is not make-believe. It is the picture your mind uses for the part of you that has been dimmed for so long. See it there now, small and steady and patient. Now watch that light begin to grow. With every breath you take, it spreads, warm and unhurried, until it fills your whole head, and then your chest, and then the entire body you are sitting in. As it spreads, let it reach the places that have felt heavy for years, and feel them soften under the warmth. This is what coming back online actually feels like, not a strain, a return. Now place one hand over the center of your chest and feel it rise and fall. That steady rhythm under your hand is your proof that the original you was never gone. It was only waiting for permission to come home. There is an old Hebrew word, ruach, that means breath and wind and spirit, all at the same time. The ancients understood something we have forgotten. The same breath moving through you in this moment is the same force that first lit the mind you were given as a child. You have not been running on empty all these years. You have been running on a gift you simply could not feel. So, let us be grateful for that, quietly, without needing to perform it. Thank you for the mind that was never truly broken. Thank you for the light that was only buried. Thank you for the Wednesday that finally arrived. Now release what you were never meant to keep carrying. The shame of the lost years. The belief that the fog was somehow your fault. The smaller version of yourself the world handed you and told you to accept. Let it all fall from your hands like something you were never supposed to hold in the first place. And in its place, say these words with me, not as a wish, but as a fact that is already becoming true. I am awake. I am clear. I am becoming exactly who I was always meant to be. And if those words are true for you, then seal them somewhere they can be witnessed. Comment the words, I am becoming, one final time below, so this moment is marked not only inside you, but out in the open, where it cannot be undone. And hear this before you rise from where you are sitting. You did not find your way to the end of this message by accident. You were led here, today, on purpose, by the same hand that wrote your name before time ever began. What was dimmed in you is being restored. What was stolen from you is being returned. What was promised over you is finally on its way. If this message reached the real you today, gently press the like, not for me, but so that it finds the next chosen one still sitting in the fog, waiting for their own Wednesday to arrive. And if someone you love came to your mind while you listened, send this to them today. You may be the very door they have been waiting on. The old you ends here, on this Wednesday that was marked for you long before you were born. The new you begins now, in this breath, in this moment, with the light already spreading. Walk forward, chosen one. You are not who you were this morning. It is sealed, and so it is.